How's my hair? Is it good?
It's much better than mine.
You know, I use gallons and gallons of products to achieve this. It,
I can tell that you can tell that I don't use gallons of gallons of it in my hair.
but your morning goes much more quickly than mine. Actually, my wife jokes because, I mean, literally, I'll get up in the morning, wet my hair again, a little bit of zush, 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 out, and that's it.
Yeah.
I can't believe I said zush. You know,
You're meant to be tough and 100% male.
Oh, I can assure you that when I was in high school, I was not tough. I was small. I was unathletic. I didn't work hard. I didn't listen well. I was a coach's delight.
So you would fail the reintroduction of the fitness test.
Actually, I tell you something weird. I ran into a gentleman the other day. He's old. He was blind, and he wanted to talk. So I talked to him, and he said, "Yeah, I got cataracts. I got glaucoma," and I was letting him leading him around a store, and got to talking to him. Yeah, I got cataracts, I got glaucoma, I got congested heart failure, and I got the diabetes, and I got hyperlipidemia, whatever that is, and I've got high blood pressure, and I'm taking this and I'm taking that. And he just said, "Man, it's hell being 55."
Good for him.
Like, oh wow. And I hated to tell him how old I was, and he looked like he was 78.
Yeah, if he's got all those complaints, he might not reach 56.
Yeah, I mean he's on his way, unfortunately. All right, on that happy note, hello everybody. This is the Secret Sauce Podcast. This is an offshoot of Texas Day Peru. I'm Kevin Briggs. I lead Texas Day Peru. Before doing that, I've been in healthcare and life sciences, business development, technology, service sale activities for most of my career. Run into lots and lots of people who really know what they're talking about in terms of business, and that's hence kind of the point of this little show. I skipped right over it, but Texas Day Peru, for those of you who don't know, we're a nonprofit, and we lead teams of surgeons down to Peru every summer and do surgeries for the poor. We help a lot of people, we change a lot of lives, and we have a whole lot of fun doing it. And if you're interested in knowing more about that, I'll talk about it at the end of the thing for just a second. But the genesis of this program is I was trying to leave tidbits for my sons who are entering their professional lives, and trying to words of advice and wisdom from the old man, as it were. And I realized I have hundreds and hundreds of contacts that really know more about life and business and best practices and success and things that matter than I do. So I've created this little thing. And so to that end, we have as guest today a heck of a guy, an accomplished professional, a wonderful guy, and a friend of mine that I'm just thrilled to death to have on. I hope y'all enjoy visiting with him as much as I always enjoy visiting with him. May I present Peter Curle. Peter, welcome aboard.
Thanks, Kevin. Thanks very much for the introduction and those kind words. Hopefully I'll try not to disappoint you and give you some insight and make it light and airy as well.
It's my pleasure. I looked him up on Chat GPT, so you look up pithy, seemingly genuine words to say to your guest as you greet them on, and it did a fine job. AI is a wonderful tool.
As long as we control it and don't let it control us.
Oh man, we could go long on that particular topic. As I always say, what I've been saying since Thursday, the AI can out AI me, but it can't out people me. That makes me feel like a warm sweater, doesn't it?
It does.
Any rate, so for those of the folks that don't know you, Peter, could you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, simple. I'm a small town boy from a town in the country in Scotland. People ask me where I'm from. I say it's a town that had 15,000 people and 500,000 sheep. It's sort of, it was one of those towns that it's on the map somewhere, but nobody really knows about it. And
Well, at least you always have a date.
exactly, we won't go into that side of the conversation. Then I studied pharmacology and biochemistry. I was at school, and my teacher said to me, "What do you want to study at university?" And I said, "Pharmacology." And their answer was, "That sounds interesting. I have no idea what it is. So off you go and do it, please." So I studied biochemistry, pharmacology, took the usual pseudo-academic route, drifted into industry, moved to Switzerland a long, long time ago. First to Geneva, had to learn French, which was interesting as I
Mon
failed
Dieu.
French studies completely at school. Then moved to the German-speaking part of Switzerland, which was another language which I'd never even thought about before. So my French and German teachers at school now must be laughing in their graves that I'm actually living in a country where I speak 2 foreign languages. So that's, and I've just since then, I'll say I've wandered through life sciences, pharmaceutical industry, going where my interest at any given time takes me. To say I've had a career path would be strange. It's whatever interested me at any given time. Whatever I've been thinking, I could do that. And that's where job opportunities have taken me. So yeah, that's a little bit about me.
Well, that's fascinating. I didn't realize you spoke French and German. Um, I'm impressed. I can barely speak English. I'm about to master it. Um, but we'll get there, and we can edit that dumb joke out. So part of what we're talking about today are this thing are passion projects, and personally, I think passion projects fuel your personal life and professional life. Are there any passion projects or personal interests or hobbies that really are core to you?
Yeah, I was thinking about that when you asked me that, and I was thinking, "Oof, what am I passionate about?" Well, obviously, you've got this, and I don't want to sound blasé, but you're always passionate about your family. You're always
Yeah.
passionate about your kids doing well, and no matter how old they are, they're always your little boy and girl.
Yeah.
So, and the older you get, the more you believe, yeah, they still are my little boy and girl. So they're the two passionate things. In the extended family, they've
Yeah.
got great sets of cousins across the globe. And you're thinking, if you've got a strong family life, that really does build a network and a communication system that allows everybody's children to grow as well.
Mm-hmm.
So that sort of sets the limit. But I think, firstly, I'm a passionate Scots person. I'm very passionate about being Scottish.
Yeah.
And that's not, and it's very much about the place, about the history, about the culture of Scotland and how Scotland has evolved as a country, etc., etc.,
Mm-hmm.
and its individuality and what makes Scotland a great place to be, and all the good things and all the bad things about Scotland as well. But I'm very passionate about being a Scot and and the influence that Scotland as a small nation has had on the world, because Scots have travelled across the globe. You can go to the US and Scots names keep on copying of everyone. First one you can probably think about is Carnegie.
Yes.
Public library services, etc. When he made his millions, he donated to the US. Then you just look through history, and there's Scottish people popping up here, left and right. Some of them are good, some of them are bad.
Oh, tons of great thinkers. Adam Smith.
Exactly.
Hume.
Yeah.
And Peter Curle.
In medicine, in business, in the humanities, I think it goes back to our Celtic background, our Calvinistic background as well. We're an interesting mixture of culture, etc., etc.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, but one of my real passions, I think, and I was thinking about this, is I've always been a very keen sportsman. I played rugby to quite a high level, and I was thinking about that, thinking when you play sport as a young person, you play it because you want it. You dedicate all your efforts to it, and
Right.
that did drives a passion. And one of the questions that I hate sports commentators asking people is sports people, what sacrifices have you made to become such a good sports person? And the simplest answer is to me, you've not made any sacrifice because that's what you want to do.
Yeah.
So it's what drives you. It's what's your interest. So once you've got that drive and interest in anything, whether it's collecting stamps, whether it's playing a sport, that's the passion that drives what you want to do. And you don't make sacrifices because it's what you want to do.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's interesting. When you hear that question, I always say, that's a dumb question. I didn't make any sacrifices as a teenager. I still did the dumb things as teenagers do, and we won't go into them. But and my parents would disagree with that 100%. But your passion drives you to do the things that you want to do,
Mm-hmm.
and you don't make sacrifices by eliminating other things because you're not interested in the other thing. You just want to do what you want to do. So, and now I'd say skiing is the big passion as well as playing golf in the summer. But when you get up to the top of a mountain, it's blue sky, white snow, and you just breathe in that fresh air, and it's like a drug. You just think, yeah, this is what nature wants us to experience. You just let yourself go, and all you're doing is just being in nature.
I know what you mean. I find myself when I'm skiing, I see that clear blue sky, that thin air, that cool, crisp air, and I breathe it in deeply and know that I'll be in the hospital within an hour.
Yeah, but it's just your body starts to feel alive. You don't think about anything. You're just thinking, next run down the hill. Yeah, let's just enjoy this. It's just keep it going. Yeah, and it's just every time you get to the top of the hill and you look down, you think, yeah, this is good. This is my good place to be.
Well,
Yeah.
if you like cold, crisp air in high altitude, but no snow, you ought to join me sometime when we go down to Peru.
Yeah.
And you raise a really interesting point. You know, it's not a sacrifice if it's something you're passionate about and you enjoy. And I feel that all the time when we're doing that. It's like, man, this is fun.
Yeah.
You know, I'm having a good time. I guess I'm not sacrificing enough. That's a silly thought.
Yeah, it's one of those. It's just one of those questions you hear people being asked in sports. What did you sacrifice to get to this level? And the simple answer is nothing, because it's what I want to do. It gives me pleasure. It gets my endorphins going around my body. It gives me that high.
And it's the
So
same. It's the same thing with our families.
yeah,
It's no sacrifice to see my kids happy. It's no sacrifice to see my wife happy, to see them thrive, to see them succeed, to see them
yeah.
grow. Um,
And I
that's a
think
pleasure.
you can extend that out from family into communities where you live.
Agreed.
And one of the great things I like about living in a village is that everybody tends to know you, or you're known within the village, so you're part of a community. You do things which are beneficial to the community. And in Switzerland, the cultural and the political life is all about consensus. So
Yeah.
you're part of that consensus on how the community wants to progress.
Yeah.
And I think that's really exciting. It's you have to work together to get to the consensus of the acceptable middle ground that everybody can benefit from.
Yeah.
So, and I think that's what makes me passionate about things, is looking for consensus, looking for middle ground, and making sure that nobody's excluded. It's within business, it's within community that you can all be individuals and all have individual ideas, but ultimately you come together and work together to find a solution and work towards improving the overall situation.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, and sometimes that's hard to do, but
It's not easy at all, but and you've got to keep working at it. You can't put it to bed. Every day throws up a new challenge. Every day is a new idea, whether that's in your business or your personal life. You've still got to keep working at it. And I've been married now for 42 years. Just my anniversary was a couple of days ago. So
she still puts up with you. Good.
surprisingly, but you look at it, you think, you work at it every day, and it's not been a smooth road. There's been bumps in the road, which you'd expect.
Sure.
You still work at it every day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm about to ask you about, advice you would give to younger folks or your younger self, but working on your relationships every day and not neglecting those, that's pretty doggone good advice.
Yeah.
Um,
But going to your question, which is your secret sauce.
yes. Tell us, Peter, what is your secret sauce?
It's not Heinz 57, but it is quite good.
Is it H&P?
But I think learning to say no in a business environment and learning to say no in the correct way.
Yes.
It's something that I learned to say no relatively early because I could see people were asking me to do things, and it would take me down a path which I didn't want to go. It would take me down a route that I knew was short-sighted for me as an individual. I could see why they were asking me from a company perspective, but I've always been in project management, or I'll say activities that require curiosity.
Yes.
That you need to think about them and keep on learning and keep on being interested. And I kept on being asked at various points to go into what I would have called operational roles. And I would say to the person, well, I can do that job for 6 months and then I'm going to become destructive because it's not my personality to push the piece of paper every day. So why are you asking me to, I can understand why you want me to do it now because you have a problem that you need solved, which I'm quite good at. But in 6 months' time, I'm going to become destructive because there's no longer any curiosity involved in it. So learning to say no, although it might be...
It sounds negative, but it's really not.
Exactly. And it might not be the most obvious career advice to give somebody because you always want to go to the next thing. But if the next thing is not what you want to do, why do it? So
that saying no comes with a bit of responsibility for you, the person who's saying no, a little bit of thoughtfulness on what it is you want to do and permit yourself to do.
And it's also being able to say no and explain why. Explain it and give reasons why, exactly why you are not wanting to take that responsibility or take that on at that specific time. And there's multiple aspects. One of them, once I was asked, do you want to become, have a lot of responsibility for a global company in South America from a technical perspective? And I'd been spending a lot of time on the road anyway, traveling. And then I thought, it means I'll be a lot of more time away from my family.
Yeah.
And my kids were at the age where they needed me at home more than me being on the road. So it was quite a simple decision for me to be saying, no, my kids need me at home for the next, or not away from Monday to Friday every second, or every 1 week in 2 or 1 week in 3. They need me at home for much more for the next 12 to 24 months. I need to spend time with my family. So these are easy decisions to explain to people.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, it, and it also, in a way, kind of forces thoughtfulness and efficiency on the people around you as well.
Yeah. It shows that you understand who you are and what you
Yes.
want, and you're willing to stand up and be accountable to yourself and understand what's important to you at any given time. It could be, if somebody had asked me the same question in a year's time, I might have said yes to it because there was different circumstances. So you really have to think about what's good for you, what you need at any given time, so that you can make the correct decision for yourself rather than for the person who's asking you the question.
Right. Right. Well, I tell you, we're coming toward the end of our time now, and what you've been sharing has been tremendous. I'm so thrilled to death with it. And I know that folks are going to be awfully interested in hearing what you had to say on that. Before we go, is there something that I'm forgetting? Is there something that I should be asking you? I want to make sure that we're not leaving something golden and wonderful on the floor. Is there something else?
This might be a little bit controversial.
Be controversial. We like that.
Ask me what it's like to be an immigrant.
Peter, what is it like to be an immigrant?
Well, I'm an economic immigrant. I'm an economic migrant. I've moved
aren't most, well, with the exception of the political prisoners, yeah.
Yeah, most people have somebody in their family who has made the same decision, and it could be from moving from one city to another city, which could be within the same country, but there's big differences. Or in my case, I've moved between countries, between languages more than once.
Yeah.
And I realized that I've always been an economic migrant, but that seems to be the way the world works. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. It's skills are required across the globe at different times. So I'm quite happy to put my hand up and say, I'm an economic migrant. I've followed work opportunities around the globe. I'm no different from thousands of other people. So
Millions.
It's not a stigma. It's something that multiple people do across continents, and you do it for the right reasons.
You know, the reality is, unless you live in a certain little small section in Eastern Africa, everybody in the world is an immigrant.
Yeah. And I think that's something that we're forgot. And one of the things I've traveled been lucky enough to travel around the world. And people ask me, oh, what's it like in this country and that country? And the one thing I say is, we all breathe the same air, we all eat the same food, and we all sleep at night.
Yeah.
We all do the same things. There might be a slightly different way in which we do them, but we all do the same things. And if you can understand why people do things, and if you can accommodate them in your lifestyle as well, you can get on it. You can visit any country in the world and you'll be welcome.
I am so glad you brought that up, and what you're saying there is both powerful and obvious, but it's one of these things that we all need to understand and embrace.
Yeah.
And it's a little challenging at times in our current environment to do that. But thank you for doing that.
You need to be open to listen and discuss and come to consensus.
I think people need to watch Ted Lasso and get curious.
Yeah, never be afraid to ask the difficult question. It might make you unpopular at that moment in time in the group that you're in, but don't be afraid to ask the difficult and sometimes the obvious question.
You know, man, I was thinking about this the other day. You know, sometimes we run into folks that have a hard time asking why.
Yeah.
You know, they have an easy time asking what, but they don't ask why They don't ask should. And what would be the consequences of this?
Yeah.
And I'm glad you brought that up. I think that's a really, really strong bit of advice that I would certainly put on the list of things that I'm trying to advise, my kids to take heed. I actually do have a list. And I'm going to put those things down there and put your initials next to them that were your thoughts.
But I think the younger generation should learn to ask the difficult question and learn to listen to the answer.
Yeah. And listen, and as another one of my guests said, listen for understanding.
Yeah. And be willing to think about what the answer is rather than make the assumption of what the answer is.
Yes, exactly. Peter, this has been awesome. And I could keep going for hours on this. And I have no doubt we're going to do this again because there's so much ground to cover with you. It's been a blast. I appreciate you doing that. I need to do a little advertising right quick. So for those of you who are interested in Texas Day Peru, take a click on this Q code. If you are interested in having me come in as a speaker, I am occasionally entertaining and would be happy to speak for your group. If you are interested in this fine bit of literature, we own a lawn suit and you can too. Please do consider buying it. I recommend the electronic version. It's cheaper than the printed version. And you get more laughs per dollar that way. And that's value. Again, if you're interested in volunteering with Texas Day Peru, we take more than doctors. We take non-clinical volunteers as well. If you have a heart to help folks, and if you can lift a 50-pound bag, we'd love to have you. So at any rate, Peter, thank you again. This has been a blast. I really, really appreciate you doing this with me.
Thanks, Kevin. No, it's been fun. And we could maybe, as you said, do one again in a few months' time.
That would be awesome. Thanks again. We'll see you soon.
Thanks. Bye for now.